Yo, what is going on, guys? Godrekton here, bringing you another video. So in this video, I'm going to be going over a mini guide on just how I've been playing Renekton recently. Now, bear with me, I have just woken up not too long ago, and yes, it is like 12:30 currently for my time. Been having a pretty weird sleep pattern lately, but I've started to get back into fixing it, and I'm kind of just like waking up at random times. Hence why my streams are like all over the place as well. If you guys have started watching my streams again, if not, make sure to check Godrekton underscore. Be streaming every day. But with that being said, let's get into the guide. So a lot has happened in the last couple of months of League. A lot of nerfs have happened. A lot of meta shifts have happened within the top side of the game. And one of those big changes was the Renekton nerfs. And ever since this, a lot of people have been coming to me asking a bunch of questions, as well as many other Renekton players. Questions like, how do I carry my games? I can't play with these nerfs. I'm losing all these easiest matchups now that I would never lose before. I can't carry my teammates. I can't go with these builds in 1v9 anymore. What can I do? Godrekton, this champion is gutted now. There is no hope for me and League of Legends. This game is gonna die. How do you play Renekton? Well, I mean, sure, it is no surprise that Renekton right now is very weak. And I have two different websites. Obviously, people can draw their own conclusions, how they feel about them. But on here, currently in Platinum Plus, Renekton is 46% win rate. If I can do all ranks, he is 45.7% win rate too, which is quite worrying for a champion of Renekton's caliber. And even if you look like at the toughest matchups, like Nasus is like his second hardest for some reason. I don't know why, but he is. And I don't think the nerfs really affected the matchup either. So it's pretty interesting in itself that it's there. And if we look to Lolalytics, we have a similar scenario here with win rate, where it's like 45.8%, spanning across all ranks. Although if I do go to Platinum Plus here, it does say 46.59, which to here says, I don't know if it was similar, 46% basically. So yeah, I won't lie to you guys, Renekton is still in a pretty weak spot right now. So if you are looking to, fully dedicate yourself to this champion, or just any champion in general with League, like being a one-trick, you have to understand that being a one-trick requires being versatile and always about being adapting as a player. So with that, anytime your champion is weak or in an unfavorable meta where counter picks are showing up more often, you have to improvise and develop new strategies to, win the game. I actually find it interesting too, on another note, Renekton has Unflinching here as a general rune. This is something you don't really see often in Renekton. I don't know why people are taking this. Maybe they think Tenacity's working on his own W to try and get him out, but just as a heads up, that's not how it works, so I would not recommend this unless you're against like a Teemo or something. But regardless. So yeah, being a one-trick is all about versatility and being able to adapt. And as a Renekton main, for like over so many years now, since Season 4, there's been many bad patches that are currently worse than now for Renekton, where you have to adapt and change your game plan and like style, all that, and even your methodology of like matchups. And with a W nerfs, Renekton definitely needs a change of like the methodology on like just how to like play a matchup, how to like perfect dives. Like the W nerf was really big for the duration, because there's a lot of scenarios now that I've been playing where there'll be someone that's low health, and before I could I could be low health, I could flash W somebody, outplay them with my, fast combos, but most of the time now when I try to do that, they're breaking out as I'm like, entering my Q animation cancel part of my one-shot combo, to where I can end up dying from it now, and it requires more foresight and safety. So yeah, it is definitely different to adapt to, but aside from that, I also stopped playing League for like a month and a half. I was playing on and off on my main account. So if we just scroll down here, I had like my wins here. I think I was like 300 LP this stage. Maybe it was like here. Then I dropped to like 250, I think, and I started like going back to like 280. And then I kind of just got burned out and I stopped playing like League and just like my main account. So then I ended up letting my account decay. So like, yeah, I let it decay out of Master, which takes 10 days. I've then just been playing on and off because I didn't like the nerfs. The nerfs definitely hurt a lot, and I was really against the idea of wanting to like change the way I play. So that kind of just like hindered me, and then I just, you know, kind of gave up. But yeah, so recently I started playing League again. I've been trying to like think of the perfect build for Renekton, and I've been wanting to change like my perspective on the champion too. So I took the time to play in some Smurf accounts here that I got into Diamond. Before they had pretty bad win rate, so I've just been like getting them out of that. And yeah, so my best account was this so far, and I've been changing my playstyle with these items here. So this new build, I think, is the best iteration of Renekton currently, if you want to play full AD, or even just like Renekton in general. That's just my honest opinion, because it gives you a versatile range of stats, I should say. So if you guys remember the old full AD build, spanning from like last season and before that, where you had Ghostblade, like Cleaver, Blair Rune King, Ravenous Hydra, this is essentially the rebirth of the build. So this build, unlike Prowler's Claw, gives you such a wide range of stats. The biggest con with Prowler's Claw was that it was very squishy compared to like previous full AD builds. You lacked wave clear, sustain, although you had an insane amount of burst damage, which does still triumph on any other build with Renekton. However, I think having that versatility and the fact you're already getting so much AD out of this build, it doesn't really matter too much. Like, you're one-shotting anyone, like, you know, that wants to fight you, as well, as long as you're playing it well with your mechanics and stuff. Sorry about the notification, if you heard that. But with that being said, the current trend for item builds too with assassins is Godrekton Ghostblade. With the change of Ghostblade being reverted to what it was last season, the item serves as a great pickup again now. Like, you can pick up this item and have great success. You're no longer falling into the trap of, oh, I've spent 3,100 gold on this item, which doesn't give me any ability haste and I can't really use it. I would rather just go Serpent's Fang. But the problem with that for Renekton is that, why would you go Serpent's Fang when you already have a shield break on your W? So this often caused problems for Renekton in wanting to, you know, grab a lethality item that isn't Prowler's Claw. But with the change to this, it brings back the OG style that Renekton, or that I've been wanting myself for quite a while. Like, I loved last season going Ghostblade Bork into a Last Whisper item. It served me, like, you know, some of my best stats. It allowed me to push into Masters originally, and it was such a high skill ceiling build. So I've kind of went back on this, but I've implemented Godrekton, which for an OG build also serves as like Ravenous Hydra, if we think about it that way too. Now, the biggest reason this is so strong is because Godrekton as an item is broken, sure. Another thing that is, you know, making it broken is the fact that you're getting so much AD out of the Spite passive, which is gain 1% AD for every 5% missing health. Combine that with like a Ghostblade, Bork, Conqueror, and you're just getting so much AD in your build. And every game I've been playing, the build just feels so strong. I have outplay potential with my healing from the active. When I'm lower health, I have more AD to burst people down. You know, as I was talking about the versatility too, I have so much range of stats here. I have healing AD from Conqueror. I have, you know, the Godrekton, you know, healing active, the AD when I'm lower. The Mythic that gives me ability haste. Combine that with also Ghostblade for ability haste. Maybe Black Cleaver if I wanted to build that. I get ability haste as well. Blair Rune King gives me percentage damage against, you know, anyone that stacks HP. And with most people stacking health right now in this meta, or even just this like season, Blair Rune King serves as a outstanding item for that regard. And I typically rush this first item. But I will talk about build path shortly. I'm just kind of going over the general build here. So, yeah, like, also Ghostblade 2, you have, you know, lethality, so you can burst people harder. You know, you have moon speed, which is a really great thing that I think most Renekton players have been missing this season. Because we haven't been able to build Ghostblade, the default option was to go Ghost here. Now, Ghost is great and all that, but it's more of a scaling rune than a rune that's like going to come online early. While it does help you survive early game against ganks and stuff like that, I still think Renekton likes to snowball, or he likes to have, you know, a general like presence on the map with teleport or an ignite, you know, just being able to control lane. Ghost doesn't really provide either of those, you know, criterias. So I've always had a hard time trying to make it work, and maybe it's region difference, but I think going Ghost in my elo, like when I was playing in Masters and stuff, like it just seemed really underwhelming. And most of the games I'll just get flamed regardless. And I know a lot of NA Renekton players like to go Ghost, and I'm all for that. I like the whole Ghost style, don't get me wrong, but for me personally, and like the players I'm playing with, it doesn't seem like they really have an interest in wanting to play with that, so I would rather just go Ignite or TP, because those are the best summoners that are going to get me ahead, and it will allow me to control the early to mid game, which is Renekton's key point, if you think about it. With that being said, this build is just great all around, and as you can see, I've been swapping up my secondaries quite a lot. I don't really have a preference right now on what I take. Obviously, for, you know, from game to game, I think Resolve Tree is probably the best. Like, taking Second Wind, Bone Plating, Unflinching, Overgrowth, all of these runes are super good to take at the moment. To explain the secondary runes though, if you are going Resolve, take Second Wind when you're starting D-Shield in ranged matchups, or matchups where you will be getting poked out a lot. For instance, in this game I took Second Wind. I probably could have taken D-Shield here against Rengar, but I did snowball early by getting First Blood, and then it kind of benefited me in being able to keep killing Rengar. But yeah, in other games, D-Shield Second Wind is god tier combo. Always do this, and you will not have a problem with range matchups. I promise you that. Most people struggle a lot with the hard matchups like Ken and Jace, all this, but I've been finding them easy forever just because of Second Wind and D-Shield. So if you're not already playing this, give it a try. Like, you're missing out otherwise. Like, just give it a try, and you will not regret it. Like, you will get through the laning phase, you'll reach your power spikes, and then you'll finally have that backbone to fight these people and have a certainty in the lane. Next we have, like, you know, Overgrowth. At first, I was very dismissive of this rune over the years. But with the Renekton ult healing, not healing, the ult, you know, base health you get being removed. Or by 200, let's just say that. Like, it got, like, nerfed by 200 health. Sorry, I'm just mixing my words up. I feel like this rune serves as a great replacement to gain that health back, and I won't lie, like, while maybe it seems like a bit, you know, whatever to get, I kind of like it, because I often get quite a lot of farm in the games, like, as you're seeing, like, 250, 213, 170, like, around, like, you know, decent CS numbers, not perfect by any means, and maybe I am smurfing too with these games, but most often, like, I find it pretty nice unless I'm in games where, like, my team is, like, insanely behind, like, you know, this one and this one too. But yeah, like, I think it's a pretty great rune overall, just for that health. And if you do want to go, like, Titanic too, then by all means, you know, go ahead on that regard as well. It does, like, synergize, like, with that, because it's bonus health you're gaining. If you don't like this, you can take Demolish. Demolish is also good for tower platings, although I don't really see myself getting too many. Maybe if I am playing with Ignite, I could go Demolish Second Wind or Bone Plating more. Maybe I will try out this. But yeah, like, give it a, like, you can kind of do whatever in this tree. It's basically up to you and how the game is. Like, Bone Plating compared to Second Wind, like, Bone Plating is much better into people that want to burst you. And an underrated fact about Bone Plating is that it provides a mental block for people trying to dive you, or even, like, you know, all in you. Like, think about it. If you're going to dive, so if you're like a Darius and you go dive Renekton and his Bone Plating comes up, you can't really take that fight then. Like, you can't just run to the tower and kill him, because Bone Plating will eat up your damage. Or at least in Renekton's terms, if you're trying to dive somebody and Bone Plating comes up, like on Fiora, you have to think about two mind games then, with her W and her Bone Plating. So first of all, you can only Q her to take Bone Plating, and then you have to try and bait out the W. So it's a lot of mind games for people that are, like, competent. So in higher elo, this is more of a thing you have to think about. Maybe in lower elo, it doesn't come online as much, or maybe prevents people from realizing this. But either way, it's a good, like, trap, I guess, to luring people into dive you as well for your low. I mean, that's kind of a sad thing to think about if you're Renekton. Like, you have to rely on people diving you and cheesing them with this rune to get a kill. Yeah. But, yeah, like, so let's talk about build pass now. Also, actually, let me talk about runes. Sorry, I'm all over the place here, but I'm going to timestamp it so it's a little bit more coherent and structured in the video. So for domination, I've been trying Taste of Blood and Ravenous Hydra. I do like the sustain here. It is pretty nice in certain matchups. Like, set here, like, it was pretty good against, because in the fights, like, having that extra healing come online as I'm fighting does help me, like, survive the level 1, 2. Like, it's a really good early game room that I never really credited enough. I would always take Sun Impact in the past, and while I still might do that into, like, range matchups or something, I think Bruises, where if I do want to go Sun Impact, Domination secondary, I will take Taste of Blood and, like, Ravenous. Although, I don't find this the strongest, because Ravenous has been nerfed a lot. Like I said, I've been, like, testing around the runes. Like, here, I went Transcendence and Gathering Storm. Transcendence is okay. It acts as, like, a mini Sojourn. So, if you do kill someone on takedown, it refreshes 20% of your cooldowns. While this seems, pretty great, haven't really noticed it much. Maybe in 1v2s, where this comes in clutch, it could be good. But I'm not sure yet. I don't really see this working too often for me. Not that it's, like, bad, but I just haven't noticed it. Maybe for you guys, it works out. But yeah, secondary runes aren't really the highlight here. I'm just kind of going over, like, the way I've been playing. Like, game to game, I'm going Resolve most of the time. If I go on my other account too, which is my cursed account, I'll have you know. Like, I've kind of just been doing anything. Nothing too, special with runes. But, yeah. Anyways, let's talk about the build. So, here I am doing Ball Crush every game. The games I'm, like, going Godrekton first is the games I'm losing. Like, this game was a horrible game for me. Like, I really played bad. So, in those type of games, it's always better to go Godrekton, because that allows you to be a team fighter. It allows you to peel. It allows you just to be, like, a frontline. While being frontline right now as Renekton isn't great, I still think it's pretty good if you're behind. And this game, it did help out a little bit. Not that I did too much, but it does come in handy to, buy my team time with the Godrekton and Steric's Power Spike. So, by all means, that's still fine. But it's not... I don't think it's the best consistent thing to be winning games with. Unlike Ball Crush. Like, Ball Crush is just so good, too. Just because... If you don't know... The passive procs on Renekton's W 3 times. So that's 10% 3 times being 30% current health damage to a target. So you could essentially rush this into any, like, lane you want. Like, you're going to burst squishies, you're going to burst tanks, bruisers, like, all that. Like, it's such a versatile item against everyone. The AD is good too for your abilities, of course, and on hits. Attack speed is really good because of Fury management. It also allows you to do faster animation cancel combos. Another underrated fact. The lifesteal is pretty good too. Definitely value that. And if you're taking, like, runes like Taste of Blood. I keep saying Sun Impact. Taste of Blood, Ravenous. That's, good synergy too. Even with the W buffs, where they made it a little bit faster, which I will add, is definitely a little bit faster and noticeable. So it is a pretty nice, change to get out of the whole being stunned longer than your opponent. It does, like, synergize pretty well with this. Like, I feel like when I do my combos, I can instantly E out, and then, like, kind of get out unscathed. And then champs like Set will E right after, like, trying to buff their ability, or Darius will E, and I can escape it. Like, it's definitely really good for that regard. Like, it lets you disengage, and it allows you to stick onto people really well. Coinciding with that. Also, an underrated fact people don't know is that the moon speed you gain from the active applies onto your E. So any, like, movement modifiers like that increase your moon speed will always affect your E and make it a lot faster. So this is like another great reason to why I feel like it's pretty good to rush. Like, it's just so good. Like, the only thing you might run into as a problem is that if you're team fighting early, you will be squishy. But I feel like either way, if you play your role to one-shot a carry in these times, like, you know, they can't do anything about it. Like, you're just gonna insta-hit them. You could ask, why not go Iron Spike Whip and Ghost Blade first? Now, I did try that in a couple games, but the problem was, I feel like I didn't come online fast enough. Like, I did it in this Clash game I played here. For Jungle Renekton. I mean, sure, Jungle Renekton, but I didn't really, like, feel any power here doing this. Like, I think lethality rushes, like rushing on Renekton, isn't good this season compared to last season. Like, before I'd do Ghost Blade rush into squishies and then Bork into, you know, beefier targets. Although, I kind of feel like Bork is just essential all the way around now. Ghost Blade is pretty good later on when I want to have, like, moon speed and, like, just traverse fights, you know, try and, like, get in and out, like, dodge shit, you know. That's kind of how I like to play. I like to look for that moment. I like to, like, use my movement to my advantage and look, like, past, you know, try and get past all the abilities, look for that opening, you know, go in with my flash or my E and then one shot. That's typically how I'm playing with Ghost Blade. But yeah, like, it's definitely a different playstyle too. Like, a lot of, like, I'm basically playing how I used to play here last season. This season, because I haven't had, like, the move speed from Ghost Blade, I haven't been able to play the same way. And I feel like my gameplay hasn't been as good as it could be regarding that. But it definitely allows me to have more openings. And it's really refreshing too to play with Ghost Blade. So yeah. So, Ghost Blade Rush, definitely a must-do. Secondary, Godrekton. Godrekton's your mythic, and delaying it any longer isn't going to benefit you. So, definitely get that second. Third, you can then go Sterox against games where you need to be a bit more of a frontliner. If you want to tank for your team, the games may be a little bit even. Maybe you want to do Ghost Blade when you're really far ahead and you want to snowball, have that mobility to reach people. Really good item choice then. If people are building pretty tanky, like, you know, stacking armor, Sherelda's Grudge or LDR is good third item. I'll lean more towards Sherelda than LDR here because LDR is soon getting nerfed. I'm not sure what the nerfs are yet, but Riot is looking to nerf that item. And with the health, like, you know, threshold, where people have more health than you, like, you deal more damage, it doesn't really work with Renekton's ult that very well. And the more HP you're stacking, the less impact it's going to have. So I don't really value that much. And while it is a solid item buy for Prowler's Claw Renekton, it doesn't really fit the build here. So definitely get Sherelda's instead. After that, you can kind of build whatever you want. I don't really have a full game yet where I build, like, get a full build. But essentially, yeah, okay, so essentially it will be this here. So, Bork, Godrekton, Ghost Blade, or Sterox, depending on, like, what you want. And then, like, Sherelda. Like, you kind of just, like, build these three items, like, whenever last. Or you could get a Black Cleaver. I'm not a big fan of Black Cleaver. I think it is very bad this season. I would rather have Sherelda's Grudge. Because, you know, I have that instant 30% armor pen, unlike Black Cleaver. I can build both of them if I wanted to, but then I think Sterox is, like, you know, like, I'd rather have Sterox, like, instead of Cleaver at this point. Just because it lets me, like, you know, tank and survive those, like, close moments where I'm in the middle of a fight. So yeah. Also, 1 control ward in 36 minutes. Oh my god. I am unrusting. Like I said, I decayed out of Masters. So I'm still, you know, trying to get back into League again. So I am trying to get back on my way to Masters. Had a bit of lucky games here. But yeah, I've got some work to do here. Like, these control ward buys, like, my god. How bad is that? Not buying enough control wards in any games I'm playing. Definitely do that. When it's mid-game, always have 2 control wards in your inventory. It is so important. Just gotta throw that out there. But yeah, I think that's the video then. I've kind of explained my thought process and just this build, you know. Definitely give it a try. Definitely give this build a try because I'm having a lot of success with it right now. I got my over 2 accounts into Diamond, which were pretty bad win rate. to be quite honest. And they still kind of are, but a lot of it was unrusting. Like on this account, I unrusted quite a lot. And then it was Smurf Q. But yeah, definitely give this a try. I will be streaming today at Godrekton _ maybe. If not, tomorrow, definitely. So check me out. I will also be doing some coaching soon, and I will make a separate video on that. Will be paid coaching, so if you are interested in all that and you want to get better and have my insight into certain areas, whether that's getting better at Renekton or having a Renekton course where you learn Renekton from me, or a VOD review, maybe talking about macro, like I'm gonna like narrow it down into different like packages for people that know what they're getting when they buy from me. So if you're interested, definitely leave a comment below or on the next video. So with that being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope this build guide helps you guys out a lot. Sorry for it being all over the place. I'm kind of like, you know, not really good at making videos like this. I'd rather just have like all my thoughts, you know, just spewing out, and maybe it gives you guys some insight too. That's kind of how I'm working with this. But yeah, hope you guys have a good day. Be safe. Peace.